Welcome back to Switch to Linux. It is Friday and it's time for another segment of the news. First, we're going to be covering the privacy news. So let's go ahead and jump on in. So this is kind of new. Homeland Security now wants to bring facial recognition to all land borders in the United States this summer. Yay! I didn't pull the article to review it. I didn't get a chance to read it yet, but apparently they're building an entire massive database of complete United States citizen surveillance on complete biometrics. Why in the world this organization is still allowed to exist as being as how unconstitutional they are is so far beyond me. It's one thing if Facebook wants to collect all that data because, and this is a thing that I see a whole lot. A whole lot of people are saying, we got the Fourth Amendment, how dare all these companies? Guys, the Constitution gives us a right to privacy from the government. It does not give us a right to privacy from a private company. Now, this does raise third-party doctrine issues. For example, Facebook collects all of the data and then has a backdoor deal with the government. Can Facebook give that data? It depends, and this is what has been asked in a lot of these, primarily these cell phone questions, cell phone cases in the courts. Is that data that Facebook or your phone company collects, is that your data or the company's data? If it's your data, constitutionally, the government cannot have it without a warrant. If that data now, though, belongs to a company, they can have it. So it kind of depends on where those chips fall. So we have constitutional protections in the United States against the government having data. So why Homeland Security can do this? It's just for the non-citizens. Sure. So you're deleting all of that data from all of the citizens. We believe you. Yes, we do, Mr. NSA. Or actually, this is DHS. Oh, Lord. Of course, I'm already on their list, so I'm not worried about that. I was on their list before I even switched to Linux, learned about Tor, or did all this kind of stuff, because my previous job was doing hour-long phone conversations with college professors. You have no idea how many people from other countries I know I talk to with my personal cell phone. So we're screwed anyway. But anyway, the Department of Homeland Security now wants to bring facial recognition systems to all land borders this summer. They're testing it in Anzaldes port of entry in Texas. Basically, it is a camera system that is going to take a very good view of every driver's face coming through the system. Yay! That sounds like a constitutional, amazing application, but it's all in the name to keep us safe from the terrorists. So, you know, let that be what it is. All right, well, Facebook, they had two major issues this week, two more. It's like, why is this company, like, not just closed down? Can we just nuke their databases and be done with them now? But essentially what happened is this is way back at the very beginning of smartphone use. Right back in those golden ages of smartphones when Facebook didn't have apps yet, Facebook had backdoor deals with pretty much every device manufacturer. It said like 60. I didn't think there were 60 in existence. But they had backdoor deals with about every device manufacturer at that time to work on sharing data. And because these were considered business partnerships, not third-party applications, all of the types of data that Facebook had was readily available to everybody. And this caused some issue because a lot of your different companies kind of concurred and said, oh yeah, this is true. We worked with them a whole lot on this kind of stuff. Of course, there's even down here, there's comments from all sorts of different people. And one of the biggest challenges is in the ruling, which happened, I think, 2014, where Facebook had to stop sharing friend data with other people. Basically, the thing that led to the Cambridge Analytica issue is that they didn't disclose that they were still at that time sharing data with all of these third parties, including data about your friends. Which meant that if you knew anybody on Facebook and they had any information about you, then Facebook had your information, even if you chose not to use Facebook, which really helped them as they were following around the net. This is why you should absolutely block every single Facebook domain on the host file on your computer, period. Okay, period. And if you need to use Facebook, have a way where you can either take those issues out, or what I found I do on my network, since my host file is on my system, like is on my router level, That's where everything is blocked from on my network. What I can actually do is I can actually redirect the DNS on the computer itself to a different DNS server, for example, 1.1.1.1 or 9.9.9.9. And that will bypass my host file because my host file is one level above my computer. So everyone should do something like that to block Facebook, except for the very specific times that you need it. I think there's browser plugins that will do that as well. I'm generally not an advocate of browser plugins, but if that's your best option, go for those browser plugins. But anyway, all of these different device manufacturers had confirmed this, at least most of them. Some of them, like Samsung, chose not to respond. Why people do this crap in websites? Look at this. Don't do this, people, web designers. Don't do this. It annoys the bejeebers out of your users. One of the things down here is that Apple had even responded, and officially Apple responded over here. Here you go. An Apple spokesman said the company relied on private access to Facebook data for features that enabled users to post photos to social network without opening the Facebook app. Among other things, Apple said its phones no longer had such access to Facebook as of last summer. I did not have relations with that woman, says Apple's CEO Tim Cook. Well, an official Apple spokesperson does claim that they did indeed have one of these connections. Tim Cook comes out and says, oh, no, we're not about data. We never did any of that. Well, someone's a liar. What is. Doesn't he look like Clinton, too, a little bit? But so who do we believe? Basically, Facebook's sharing all this data with phone manufacturers and all this kind of stuff. So if this wasn't enough garbage, there was a little privacy goof that basically made 14 million users' posts readable to everyone. So this is, as you're posting something to Facebook, you have the option to post it just to your friends or to your friends of friends or to the whole world. And this little pop-up that's like, ooh, you could share this with the whole world. Apparently there's a little bug in there, and that allowed 14 million users to share all of that data publicly, regardless of what their settings were. Now, I don't think this is a bug nearly as much as this is a compliance with maybe some request to just spill a little user data out. That might need my tinfoil hat to continue down that thread. But understand this. For about a week, and this was just, I think this was 2 weeks ago, from May 18th to May 27th, so that's 9 days. For 9 days, 14 million users who intended their posts only available to select individuals were in fact openly accessible on the internet. You did not even need to have a Facebook account. That means that for 9 days, any of this data could have been scraped and archived as public data, which will never go away. This is a challenge, of course. So Facebook comes out with this and it's like, oh, we've fixed the issue starting today. We're letting everyone know affected. Guys, why are you still on Facebook? I mean, if it's a matter of, well, I need to communicate with my family members, set up a private hosted open source social media site to share photos with your family. That way they won't be part of Facebook's Borg. It's not all that hard. Eventually, I think I want to do a video about how to do that. That would be fun. So he says here, we have fixed the issue starting today. We are letting everybody know effective, asking them to review any posts they made during that time. To be clear, this bug did not impact anything people had posted before and could still choose their audience just like they always have. We'd like to apologize for this mistake. This is a pretty big whoopsie, Facebook. This is a huge whoopsie, because what this means is that a lot of data is perpetually in the public sphere. That's a big deal. That's a huge deal. New Amazon stuff. There's a new ODM solutions to integrate Alexa into Windows. Fortunately, this is only Windows 10 PCs, so I will remain mostly unaffected. Although, who knows, if something like this might come to Linux, where you can go to the store now and pick up a computer, and not only do you have Cortana listening to everything that you say, you now also have Alexa listening to everything that you say. Isn't this wonderful? 2 different spying, data collection, money-hungry fools are going to be grabbing all of your data. Full disclosure, you that link up there to shop on Amazon. Help support Switch to Linux. But regardless, this is a simple install script to allow pretty much any developer or manufacturer to put Alexa on their computers. So, if you really want Alexa perpetually listening, go for it. That's kind of exciting. And it kind of raises some security concerns, like what happens if I walk in the vicinity of your computer and you have this turned on and Alexa records and saves my data and sends it to everyone in your contact list? This is a fascinating question to have. So that's an interesting thing. I think that is my last one on that. So that is my privacy news for this week. What do you think? Leave your thoughts and things in the comments down below. I hope you've enjoyed this video from Switched to Linux. If you'd like to help support the channel, check out the links at the top. There is another video over here. You can check out our Patreon page down here. And you can check out shop.switchtolinux.com for information on a t-shirt like this or some other designs. Thanks for watching and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.